Hey, I try my best to talk to you, tell you about the things I like to do. You know your smile is lighting up the room, up the room. Do you always look this beautiful? Can I kiss you when the night is through? Because right now it's all on.
Hi guys, today's video is an ultimate clean with me because we are catching up and bringing the past together with the present. So we will speed clean the living area, living room and kitchen because that always needs cleaning. But my speed clean being recorded just after we arrived back after Halloween, but I promise to keep it as short the undecorating parts as possible. Then we will slowly emerge to the present with fixing some things on our Christmas decoration. But before you would feel like, hey, then this is another video with decorating, I have a good news. It's a bunch of everything. Speed clean, organizing, house project, and yes, a bit of decorating. But let's start cleaning before I make you all even more confused.
I wanna do lipstick.
So as I said, we just got back from our country. Actually, I said after Halloween, but we traveled on Halloween's day. And as a first thing to make the living room tidy, I had to unpack. Thankfully, the kids are old enough to not need many things, so there is less to unpack. I'm not showing you guys the clothes unpacking because that's already been done. Plus, I didn't want to make it more long the unpacking than it needs to be. And as you noticed, I sprayed our suitcases with some fabric refresher because they have a strong smoke smell, like wood smoke, because we had a bit of fire incident in our caravan. What I wanted to share with you, and this is one of the reasons why I kept this after Halloween speed clean, because now is heating season in many areas and there are many places where they heat with wood, and hopefully this will make everyone more cautious. So after a few days that we arrived home, my mom was fine enough to be discharged from the hospital, and we had a busy day that day because in the morning we needed to do new IDs in my town, which is a 1-hour car drive from our field. While on our field they were digging a well for us to have water supply, because before that we had to bring water in water tanks from the river, and they were just finishing it up, which means the most busiest time for them too. And me and my husband, after we done the IDs, had to split, so we all drive back with my mom's car from my town to the field. Then the kids and my husband got out of the car and I turned back to take my mom home from the hospital, which is again half an hour drive from our town. Then, because somehow I needed to get back to our field, we decided to go to my parents' house, pick my dad up and go back to the field. We have a restaurant nearby and we can have dinner together there. Then my parents go home and we can go back to the field. But then once we were near the restaurant, I called my husband to come with the kids because we are nearly there. We have arrived, but they were nowhere, so I called him and he briefly said that he been coughed up because he can see some smoke around the fireplace. It was quite cold, so he was keeping the fire alive all day, but he cannot see it from where it's coming. So in the end, he poured water on the fire in the fireplace to extinguish it because he thought somewhere the sealant could be loose and that's why he can see smoke. So they came, we had dinner, and by the time we got back to the caravan, was full of smoke because we did put the fire resistant boards everywhere around and above the fireplace, but the stand was from wood. Sorry guys, I had to just interrupt, but I will continue the story in a minute. So I am just taking down these floating candles, and although they are fun, they did take the paint off from the ceiling. So in case you are planning to use them next year, just be aware that it can take the paint off. It seems like the beginning of the video is all about making you aware, but if only one of you learns from our or my mistakes, it's all worth it, because then I was able to help by only sharing my mistakes. And although I should learn from this mistake, I still may going to use these floating candles next year as well because they are fun, and even if they took the paint off, is not a huge problem, so I can easily fix it. So where we left off? Oh yes, so everything was covered with fire resistant board except the stand what was from wood, and because the fire was on all day from the heat what was trapped with the fire resistant boards, the wood underneath the fireplace got on fire, but thankfully because of the boards it couldn't have enough oxygen to feed the fire, so it was silently smoking the wood. Otherwise, by the time we would get back, only the ashes would have waited for us. It was scary, we were scared all night. We changed immediately the wood to a fire resistant board, but that smoke smell was lingering around and we couldn't decide if there is still a fire somewhere or just the old smoke smell is around. All our stuffs, clothes, bags, everything smelled so bad. Even after we got home, we were able to feel the smoke for days. Some of our clothes even needed to wash. So yes, fire is not something to play with, and although we thought we did all the fire safety steps, a little detail slipped out of our mind. So just be cautious, guys. We were really lucky this time, but I am sure we will be more cautious in the future.
Left a mark on my cheek, so I keep thinking of you.
I did wash the backpacks and any bag what I am able to hopefully get rid of the smoke smell. Unfortunately, I cannot wash the suitcases, so I hope the fabric refresher and the airing in the loft will help with the smell. Otherwise, I have to wash them, or by using a wet rag, or maybe I can use my upholstery cleaner as well. The worktop is nice and clear and I don't have to climb up to it, so we can go ahead and spray it with some antibacterial spray and wipe it clean. For the cooker top, I am using the Flash Kitchen Degreaser because that needs a bit more hardcore cleaner than a simple antibacterial spray.
You wanna do it again, you wanna do it again sometime. Whoa, can I see you again, can I see you again sometime? If you wish that.
This tray with the important papers is getting bigger and bigger again. My plan is to add some cabinetry next to the fireplace where the aquarium is, so we can create a designated space for my husband's work papers or for anything what is work related. And before you would ask me if that would resolve the mess, well, we hopefully won't have this big pile of documents, cameras, badges and God knows what else in here, but in that cabinet will be a mess definitely. But at least I can shut the door and kind of forget about it time to time, because even if it's kept out of eyesight, at the back of my mind there is a stressing me out list and that will be on it, and when I will get too bothered of it, I will go ahead and organize it or declutter it as much as I can, but the most of it my husband will need to get done because I don't know what he needs to keep, what we can throw away. After a while he will get used to it hopefully, so the cabinet will be less and less messy. And to tackle the dishes, first I loaded the most of the dirty dishes in the dishwasher, then now I am hand washing the rest, and I didn't start the dishwasher yet because I might will find a few cutlery hiding, so it's better to wait until the sink gets emptied.
By your door, I'll pick you up at 8, I said, what?
And there it is, a spoon what was hiding under the bigger dishes, so now I can load it and start the dishwasher. And since the sink is nice and empty, now I can go ahead and clean it. I like to pre-scrub, so giving a quick scrub with running water only to get rid of the most of the stacked food pieces, so when I put the sieve or whatever cleaner I use, then I won't scrub all the gunk around. It's not something that definitely makes sense, but to me it feels better if I pre-scrub than I put the cleaner, because in my mind the cleaner doesn't get mixed with too much gunk and it can make the sink more cleaner.
You wanna do it again, you wanna do it again sometime. I wanna hear your voice over the phone. Can I call you when I get back home, so we can talk about you and I?
Wiping the last piece or section of the worktop, and previously I haven't put these candles away because first I had to get the box with the Halloween decorations, but now all it left is to pull the last bits of decors off and put them away.
You and I.
So to just let you guys hang in there until I am taking the decors off, I just give you some tips what to do to not get bored if you are cleaning along with me. So you can just give yourself a quick vacuuming or use a lint roller to collect all the lints or pet hair if you have any, or you can just fluff your pillows and shake your blanket. And I love that wardrobe refresher from IKEA. I mean, I love this scent, but we were only able to feel it like a week, I think. I tried to shake it, press it as it's been stated on the website, but I cannot get any more scent out of that bag, what is such a shame because it has an amazing scent. Probably using in a wardrobe would be different, but using it as a room fresher, it's not really working out. As you can see, there isn't many new decor pieces, but the artificial flowers are taking up too much space, so this is why I was changing its box to a bigger one in the previous video.
Oh, can you tell me what you wanna do? I'll do anything you ask me to, as long as I can.
And of course, I have a few tips or ideas for you to what to do until I clear the window, so you can or clean the glass or clean the windowsill, or if you got plants, just show them a bit of love, give them water. It's really easy to find something to do around the house, or at least I can always find something to fiddle with.
As long as I can spend the day with you, lipstick.
Then while I take off the ceiling cobweb decor, you can just go ahead and wipe the dust before we get to the vacuuming, or you can just hang out with me and enjoy how satisfying it is to see how this living room turns from cluttery to a plain simple living room. It may sound crazy, but when I decorate, I am fine with all the decorations. I don't feel like it would make the house crowded or cluttered, but once the holiday or event is over, the decorations lose their purpose and they turn into clutter in my mind, and I get the urge to take all of them down and leave the house as bare as possible. Kind of like a decor detox, and this is how it happened now as well. I did enjoy our Halloween decorations, but once Halloween was over, I was more than ready to take all the decors down, and I left our home bare, plain and boring until I haven't decorated for Christmas. A bit more of tidying on the bed and around, then we can undecorate the TV stand as well before we get to the floor cleaning.
Left a mark on my cheek, so I...
In the end, I decided to pull my duster wand out and give a quick sweep for the furnitures. They wasn't too dusty, but they were invitingly free, and if I wouldn't dust now, by tomorrow or after tomorrow there will be too much dust. And we are ready to vacuum, and with this we are kind of done with the speed cleaning part, or better to say with the intended cleaning, because when you get a project done or you organize, you still will wipe something or vacuum something, so most of the time they do pair with cleaning chores. And after we finish vacuuming, we will go outside this time and organize in there a bit to ease on the clutter inside the house. Then after that we will have 1 or 2 home projects to make our home aesthetically more pleasing for us.
Thinking of you. Whoa, you wanna do it again, you wanna do it again. So
we got this shed I think a year ago with the intention to add shelves in it and turn it into a second garage shed mix, so to keep things what we need for the garden but also things what usually we would keep in the garage, but to have an easier access than going out in the garage, we can just store the most used items here. But we haven't got there yet, and now that we redone the bathroom cabinet and we took the shelving unit out, you will see it in a minute, I thought let's just start somewhere, and I decided to clear the shed because as you have seen it, we couldn't even step inside, and add the shelving unit and organize our stuffs a bit. If it would be summer, then I would pressure wash the stones in here as well, but because it's not warm enough to quickly dry the water up so it wouldn't turn into a puddle, I only swept this time. But anyway, this isn't a permanent thing, just a bit of help to make our life easier. So once we will get the time, we wanna create a flooring in here just to keep our stuffs dry, because unfortunately the stones aren't in level and the water can run inside the shed, so to keep everything dry we would need some kind of flooring to rise the stuffs out the water. It doesn't get splattered, but we cannot put anything on the floor what can soak the water up, so no wood shelving, no untreated wood, no cardboard boxes, everything has to be raised, and this is where this shelving unit comes handy. Poor thing was cut many times. I also needed to add some wood to make it stand, but I felt like it would be too silly of me to throw it away, and at least is something that I don't need to be worried if it gets ruined by the water, but it can keep our other items dry. When you have more stuffs than place, it takes a bit of puzzling what and where to go. We will still need more shelving and some practical storage hacks to be able to keep the floor as clear as possible, so we can step inside and get the things out easily. And what I am thinking when I say practical storage hacks is that I've seen many great ideas how to make a stand. So under the stand we could keep our daughter's electric car, and above that we can add the bicycles or the lawn mower, because these things take up the most of the floor space. So kind of solution to use the vertical space as well. And I did mention that this outdoor organizing does add to the cleanliness of the inside of our home, and let me just explain why I say this. So whenever whenever we do a home project, especially painting, tools, paint and everything gets inside our home, but once we finish they just don't seem to wanna move out in the garage, because it's a bit annoying to get things in and out of the garage for several reasons. Because to get into the garage we have to go out to the street, then usually my husband parks there because it's a free parking space, and in order to open the garage door we have to move the car further, then back so the neighbors can turn around, so it's a bit of pain. Then it is almost impossible to get everything out and back in one go, because there is always something what you forget to bring in or take out, and every time we need to access the garage we have to move the car back and forth as well. And as more difficult a chore is, the less motivation we have to do it. So by creating a second outside storage area what is easy to access, I will be more than to move the tools out once we finished. But of course for that we need to have an easy to access and easy to manage storage area. So this is why it's so important to organize our outside as well. And once all the things what we use have a designated space, we will be more than to put them back to their place, because you don't have to think about where to put it, or you don't need to lose your motivation because you first have to dress in proper clothing and shoes to go out to the street, so you can get a brush or a can of paint. Now we just jump in our flip-flops or go barefoot, run outside, grab the tool and get back inside and work. The proof of the pudding is the eating, so let's test our new shed organizing system by throwing some home projects in.
Sometime. Whoa, can I see you again? Can I see you again?
So the projects what we will get done is painting the chimney. We did test a couple of paints if you see my full deep cleaning video, and the colors were the Pebble Shore and the Knotted Twine from Dulux. I loved both color, but they seemed to be a bit too dark for our small living room, and when I searched what is the next lighter color, it was the Egyptian cotton. Now I don't know if the internet gave this color option, because now this color is viral on TikTok as I seen it, but anyway, we liked the color and it was lighter, so we bought a small can, and as husbands love, I just throw in on a casual Saturday evening that I wanna paint the chimney now. You know that meme when the wife asks her husband if he could help with her DIY, then suddenly it turns into her husband's chore. Well, I can relate a bit. I started to paint, but probably it was too painful for my husband to watch as a tradesman, and he quickly took it over. I am just kidding. It was a nice gesture from him, and to be honest, it would take a long time to cut around the coving because I have shaky hands thanks to my thyroid, so I wouldn't mind him taking it over, but I still wanted to get the rest done by myself to not to turn this into a job for him. At this point, I was panicking so much. We painted the first coat on and it was dark, and I was worried that once I paint the second coat it will be even darker, but as they say, you have to trust the process, and it was true this time as well, because once it completely dried out it had a very calming and warm light brownish greyish color. We love it now, but for first we had to get used to it because it's quite a big color change after the white, but we are very happy with it, and I love that it makes the fireplace pop. Well, that was the reason why I wanted to paint the chimney, because I love our DIY fireplace and I am really proud of us making it, so it deserves the spotlight. Unfortunately, I forgot to take a picture after the wool dried out, but hopefully here you can see. Then when I decorated for Christmas, there was a hiccup with my Christmas candles, so now we will fix it. I've been to Tesco's and I seen that they have a great discount on these candles, so I got two, the Frosted Pine and the Cherry Berry, both an amazing scent until I haven't lighted them. Sorry, no offense, because I do love the brand, but once I light the candles they had no scent. Then now tell me what is in these Christmas lights. They turn everything at least 10 times better. I forgot last time to add the light there, so that needed to be fixed, and it not just got fixed but got more magical. Then I bought some new bows for the window garland decor because that was the second hiccup, and I thought I will try it if it would look good on the garland around the fireplace. Maybe if it would be larger would look better, but as for now I left it there, but I think it was better without it. Let me know what you guys think. And now I will go ahead and add them on the window garland decoration.
Sometime, if you will be standing by your door, I'll pick you up at 8. I said, whoa, you wanna do it again, you wanna do it again sometime.
Then I wanted to get a few more projects done and add it to this video. This is why I uploaded my video so late. We had quite a hard time with this project, which is covering the niche with wood veneer. Originally my plan was to add vinyl, but I thought let's just try the wood veneer, maybe it will look more luxurious. But it was a pain to do this wrapping, to be honest. We never ever worked with this material before, so we didn't know its tricks. But the whole project was starting with the potential of the fail, because I ordered this wood veneer a long time ago and it did arrive just right before we went back home, so I didn't even have the chance to check it out. Then after we got back and I opened its box, it wasn't that color what I expected. This is way more yellow and light, so for a while I was like, should I try it or should I order another one or just forget about the wood veneer and go with the vinyl? But in the end I said let's just give it a go. Then, just to make things even more perfect, I thought my husband has a spray glue, so I haven't ordered any. Then when he got home and said that he has none, I was like, I cannot believe that I have to postpone this project again. Now that I finally decided to try it, I don't have the glue for it. Then my husband checked the garage and he found an old spray glue and we gave that a try, but first it didn't do anything. Then my husband was clever enough to read the instruction and realized that we first have to spray both surfaces, then wait a bit, then stick them together. And this all wasn't even the hardest part, because the most annoying and most hard to figure out part was to cut it to size. If you cut it to the size what you need, it was too big. Then you cut the tiny line out and it's just about to fit. Then you spray the glue and try to stick it on the plywood, and it's all of the sudden too small. So we spend most of the time to cut those tiny lines out to make sure it will be the perfect sizing, and we still ended up with a big gap between the back and the bottom part, so we might need to find cork or silicone in similar color like the wood veneer, or we just stick the vinyl above the veneer.
I just can't stop thinking of you.
Then next day, all what we have done the previous evening, it started to peel off. The glue was too old, so we needed to buy a new one. And as you have seen it, I did went ahead and took off all what been sticked on and used the new spray to stick it back again. And I also need to finish the sides as well.
Sometime. Whoa, can I see you again? Can I see you again sometime? If you will be standing by your door out there.
Then, because my plan was that we will do the shoe cabinet for the whole way with a bit of makeover, and then I can decorate for Christmas in here as well, but we couldn't because of the weather. I just wanted to at least add our family Christmas pictures here, because all of us loves to look at them when he's using the stairs.
You are better, I said, whoa, you wanna do it again?
Then after I finished yesterday the niche, it came to my mind that maybe it would look great if I create this bowl. What I originally wanted to make it into a marble effect bowl, but after I poured the white I realized that, oh wait, I forgot to pour the grey as well, and I wanted to save it by adding the color afterwards, but I couldn't. But I still like it and I wanted to add our aloe vera in it. Because the material that I used to create the bowl is water-based, I used a bag to keep the soil in it and keep the bowl dry. It's been sealed to make it waterproof, but it's better to be safe. Then, because the aloe vera doesn't need too much soil, I added some orchid bark on the top of the soil and it made the pot look better. And this was the last thing that I added to this video, because I needed to somehow get to the point to finally upload it. The next video will be some deep cleaning before Christmas, so if you need some deep cleaning motivation, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a lovely week and I see you in my next one. Bye, guys.
Wanna do it again sometime. Oh, you wanna do it again. You wanna do it again sometime.